right?
Transcript.
Or it's listening, you record it and then
phone, and I'm just using the voice memo app. And once I do that, there's actually on the 3 little dots you push there, and a transcript's already there. Copy. I've got the ChatGPT app on my phone. Drop it in, and we're good.
And then what you can do on the back end is you can connect, make, or other things. When you drop it in, it automatically knows to activate something or pull out the information from there. And the fact that you must have it trained on the different people on your team, and it listens for that. And this is really cool.
It took a long time to get to it, though, guys. It wasn't like overnight. Like I had to
sure.
Yeah, it's just like snowballing. I'm like, oh, I could do this, and I could do that, and I could create this, and I like, again, just being that person that can kind of run out in front and see everything that's going on, and then decide, is it something that we should actually move forward with? Because there's good and bad. Just like with anything in life, there's good and bad, where there's elements that are like, yeah, I can get on board with that. But there's other elements like, that I can't get on board with.
Well, I think we're actually, as a species, we have this new tool set, and we're just all figuring it out. Like we're trying it. We're failing with it. We're like, it can do this good. It can do that good. Where's my humanity end and the bot begin? Like where does that all come together? And I think eventually we have to find that equilibrium where like, this is where we're always going to be. This is how it can help us.
Yeah.
And it becomes a team.
I like new things.
Hi, I'm Matt Levenhagen, founder of Unified Web Design, UnifiedLabs.ai, and the host of the Builders Podcast. Here on the Builders, our goal is to uncover the first principles behind building businesses, products, and services. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you're listening. And if you find value in our content, a like, share, or review is always appreciated. Let's dive in and explore the roots of innovation and progress together. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another The Builders. Today, we have Jennifer Denny back. Welcome back to the show, Jennifer.
Thanks for having me back.
I was actually surprised. If you go to our website, our podcast website, we have a guest profiles area, and it lists all the episodes. And I'm like, oh, what episode? What did we talk about before? And I did not realize that you've been on this podcast 3 times before already. Over the years. But it's been a little while. If anybody's interested listening, you want to go back. If you listen to this one and it's like, wow, I got to know more about what she's doing over there. You can go back to episode 20, 44, and 102. This one's probably going to be somewhere in the 230s. So it's been a little while, 130 episodes.
And you were surprised that I'm on my 4th podcast recording today.
Yes, you are prolific. No, I was just, you're like, this is the 4th podcast you're recording. You recorded 3 of your own this morning. And that's one of the fun things. Like I obviously we're on social media and everything, but I'm always constantly watching you and Lorraine, and creating content, and I always try to catch those when I can.
I'm always building content. There's no doubt about that.
There's no stopping.
No.
And you're always bringing good things to the table. I learn a lot from you guys.
Well,
so how's that going? You guys have, so what podcast did you record this morning?
So I think we only do 1 a week. You said you were on 200 and something. So, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 230.
I think I'm at 188. So I think it's going really well. It's really the assets that we're able to produce out of it more than anything. I don't know how many people listen, podcast wise. I don't really pay attention to that. I really use it for the going live, to be able to create the written content, to be able to create the shorts, email content. And so, the podcast form is just kind of a bonus, and the YouTube form is a bonus as well. So
Yeah, that's the key is to.
I'm happy that AI overviews, with their new document that come out, they're like, multimodal content is great for like your blog post. I'm like, fantastic. Most of my blog posts have a video, have a podcast, have an image, and the written text all in one.
Done. Yeah, all together. Yeah. We're not going to worry about what works. We're just going to use it all.
Yeah. Well, because everybody learns from different ways.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, some people like to listen, some people like to watch. And, I started off with one video like a month back in 2019. And I just kind of build from there and just trying to one up my game every day.
and just showing up, right? I mean, that's something that, like I keep telling people, it's one of the things I'm proud of. I haven't missed a week in 4+ years. Every Monday you're going to see an episode from us, or Tuesday if it's a holiday, but it's going to be there. And even if if I have to show up and do a solo quick because we didn't get a guest ready or something, it's going to be there.
Everyone's going to be a winner. Not every show is going to be like spectacular, but you're out there and you're building a brand, and absolutely. Yeah,
and you're able to use the content. I actually enjoy the network of people though as well, because you get to know a lot of people, and just like you.
Yeah,
I know you.
Oh goodness!
I think actually it's we'll get into the actual topic we're going to talk about today, because it's kind of fun chatting. But I think actually, if I remember right, you were part of one of the first email outreach that we did, and I randomly reached out to you, and I think I don't know if I was just letting you know about our services, but I might have mentioned we did a podcast, and we ended up just doing podcasts. We've done some stuff together, other stuff.
Yeah. You were, and I was like, oh, well, I'll be on your podcast.
Yeah. So it's been fun. But yeah, we've talked about a lot of different things. But today, and if anybody is curious about your story and stuff, you can go back to previous episodes. Typically speaking, the first episode I have somebody on, you're going to talk more about your origin story and all that, and how you became, doing what you're doing today. I think I did that in episode 20. It's been a while, but that's typically how I operate. But today we're going to talk about one of the funnest topics out there is using ChatGPT, AI, and stuff to help us do better in our businesses. And Jennifer's got a kind of a unique spin on it. I don't know how unique it is, but it's a good spin on it. I'm not sure I'm using it quite the way, or as prolifically, if I can say that word, as you are. But let's kind of set it up. First of all, obviously you're using AI a lot in your business. Is something you've embraced now?
I feel like I embraced it from the get-go, but I definitely want to say that I am somebody with new technology that I want to know all about it, but I'm not necessarily like immediately jumping on board with every new bright shiny thing that comes out, because that can definitely get you in trouble in business. But I definitely am a researcher where I'm going to go out and try to learn as much as I can, and then make the determination if it's something that I really want to use in the business. I've been using it since it came out, but I feel like in the last 2 or 3 months, I've just like hit a light bulb on use case studies of, I could use it for this, I could use it for this, and it's just kind of snowballed into a lot of other things for sure.
It's gotten better, obviously. I mean, it was really good 2 years ago, but it's just gotten better and better, and doesn't hallucinate quite as much anymore. I was just talking, I had somebody, Jason, on recently, and Jason Fladlin, and he was talking about how he only recently as well, a light bulb moment came, and he was like, I can use, it's working for this particular thing, and I can build something around that now. So it's not embracing it necessarily, just testing and waiting, and then until that light bulb moment comes back.
The hallucination, I think it still does. I think the new level that I have found is, and I know we're going to get into how I use GPTs and projects, but I have a GPT that I've been using from the beginning that assists with writing blog posts. And really in the last like month, it's getting super lazy and fighting with me and not following instructions and really going rogue. And so I find that super interesting. I keep having to tell it that, you're not following instructions. And they're like, you're right. You're doing such a great job. And, I'm like, I don't need your, niceties to me. Like, we just need to, get the job done.
Stay focused here. Like a good employee.
Yeah, you have like instructions. Like, why are you not following your instructions? I'm obviously not like super mean, but like, right the machines here, like, you are not following instructions, Betty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's for writing. And also I've been using Cursor for coding and stuff, and kind of with an AI co-pilot there doing a lot of the coding for me. But it goes rogue. Just the simplest thing.
Yeah.
I just can't get it to do it. And yesterday I was working on something. There was a couple buttons and I was trying to align them just right. And I'll do screenshots, I'll do everything, and just kept getting it wrong, and just keeps, I think, trying to update the same code. And I'm like, let's just start over. Okay. Let's just start over, remove it all. Let's do it again. But yeah, it can be frustrating, but hopefully overall it's helping. So
one of the things that I've been doing is creating a lot of what's called projects inside of ChatGPT. And, there's GPTs that people might be familiar with, which is kind of like custom AI assistants. And you want to think of more of like, you're going to continually maybe create one piece of content over and over. So, or, because I'm in marketing, so I might be consistently, talking, writing, helping with my blog post, and it's got my brand voice and style, and it's got very specific instructions inside of there. But one of the bad parts about GPTs is that you are, consistently going back, and it's hard without going through all the chats, going to find the one that you were working on before. But folders allows you to organize those chats. And let's say, you're working with marketing clients and you need to create a buyer persona across the board, and you're going to consistently recreate buyer personas. When you do it in a project, I can have folders and it's got like individual clients that are in there. Now, we always export them so that we have them out there, including our prompts, in case you ever want to use like something different than ChatGPT. But I have found that immensely helpful, and I've probably got anywhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 folders that are created with all different processes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So yeah. Well, first of all, you have to have the pro version for this, right?
Correct.
To use projects.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's like $20 a month or something.
Yeah. I actually have two of those.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Yeah.
One for personal and one for business?
It's one for business and one for business. Like, one's more marketing related and one's more like business like type topics related. So the one in the marketing topics, we all work in the same one. But the one that is business related might have like HR or things like that you wouldn't necessarily talk to the entire team about, or following some other ideas, sales calls, things like that.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then projects. So it's interesting because I've used the custom GPTs a lot. Mm-hmm. I got a number of them that do a bunch of things for me.
Yeah.
Where you can drop something in there and it handles something.
Yeah.
But I think I have been playing with projects, probably not as much as I should be.
Yeah.
But with that, the way I've used, like, one of them, for example, that I have, right, is it was like strategy 2025. Like, what is my business going to like? In everything related to that is like basically brainstorming and trying to figure out what we're going to do, focused on this here, and so on and so forth. I have another one I did recently because we're getting into AI and automation and UX more, and maybe chatbots and building those type of things out. And I have one just dedicated to that to help me with the content related to it, help me strategize around it. So that's how I'm using it. But it seems like you
difference though. So what you're creating in GPTs, you can actually share and interact with other programs and share the link to it, and you could make it into the, I think it's the ecosystem where you can have other people. Folders are like within your own, and it's private to you, so you can't share them outside of that. So it is a key kind of difference there.
So that's the difference. But yeah, these things I was just talking about, our projects, or you call them folders? Are they folders?
Oh, folders, yeah. I
really?
Projects. Sorry, I want
projects.
Their experience, like it shows a folder, and I want to call it folders, but they call it projects.
They call it projects, but it is a folder. Basically, folders under projects.
Yeah, basically folders. Chat or
they're both right. Yeah, but yeah, so how, like, using your first example, buyer personas, like, so are you training it like you do a custom GPT, like you dropping in,
no, so
like files and stuff, or?
Yes. So, I have one that, I started off as a project, but I've now moved it over to a GPT. I started as a project because it was my project manager, my account manager, and its job was to listen to phone calls and with clients, and they know that, we are recording. So rather than these out of the box, like where you can have, AI readers and stuff like that, I built a custom one that is listening for certain things that I would want to know. Like I want to know tasks that need to get done. I've written it in a way that it understands if it is high importance, low importance, medium importance. I've told it that on a certain project that, employee 1 does this, employee 2 does this, employee 3 typically does this, so that when it starts to create those tasks, it's organizing it in that way. I've told it to create me a follow-up email that summarizes everything. And how I've transitioned that though into GPTs is because if I do it that way, it's going to start learning, the client and like what we are working with and understanding as we continually have conversations. But I can also connect it. I can connect it to a tool called Make that will connect it to, it will connect it directly to my project management system, and it will actually create the task from it. And then I can connect it to Gmail, and it would actually create a drafted email so that I can send it out to a client after we have a call. And all of this is happening in the back end. I'm sure, I haven't got quite to making that yet, no pun intended, but it's there. I just have to have the time to do it. And I know plenty of other people have already gotten to that level, but it's just, yeah.
Okay. First of all, Make, is that similar to Zapier?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
And the other one is N-A-N, so N8, and then N is the one.
N8N, yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is that one's pretty advanced, but Make is better than Zapier, is my understanding. But
yeah,
I've also seen some tools that don't always, yeah.
Yeah, these are things like N8, and I'm kind of diving into myself, for reasons. But this is fascinating to me because I love this because we're in this. People are starting to talk. They have been for a while, a lot about agentic AI, creating agents and stuff like that. Yeah. It's beyond just automations or just that's kind of another level to this. But what you're doing is a great step in that direction where you created a GPT. Now you're dropping a transcript in there or whatever you're dropping in there, right? Or it's listening. You record it and then
phone, and I'm just using the voice memo app. And once I do that, there's actually on the 3 little dots you push there, and a transcript's already there. Copy. I've got the ChatGPT app on my phone. Drop it in, and we're good.
And then what you can do on the back end is you can connect, make, or other things. When you drop it in, it automatically knows to activate something or pull out the information from there. And the fact that you must have it trained on the different people on your team, and it listens for that. And this is really cool.
It took a lot of time to get to it, though, guys. It wasn't like overnight. Like I had to
sure.
Yeah, it's just like snowballing. I'm like, oh, I could do this, and I could do that, and I could create this, and
that's the beauty. That's how you do it. You just kind of start with something simple and then build on it, and then it's doing all these whatever you want it to do. Because if it's like Zapier and Make is like Zapier, it's basically just connecting to all these other external systems. Mm-hmm. It's kind of middleware between everything. Yeah. And wow, that's cool.
It does start to get you down some of these where I'm like, oh, well, this software hasn't upgraded to be able to integrate. I'm like, oh, maybe I don't want to use that one anymore. I found kind of my time tracking tool that I was using. It's not so friendly with like Make or NAN. I was like, oh, well, that's going to be a problem. Because another problem we were trying to solve is, everybody, we need to stay within, a certain number of hours with a client. And so what if I automated where the time tracking was actually sending out emails? And at first it was kind of nice that, hey, you're a little bit over hours with the client, and then it's more stern, and then and you've got this kind of automation, but there's definitely failures with automation because it takes the human and you can get hurt. And so that whole thing I was thinking, I was like, maybe, but then maybe.
I think there's certain things that, your client's not going to mind getting updates on automatically, but you still have to be in the system to
I don't want any email communication going out automatically. I am against any of that. Would I like it in a draft mode to get myself started? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want anything automated on that.
Yeah, I think like my VA sends updates to our clients, like one particular one we started recently where every Friday, because we're doing so much for them, so to give them an overview, but she'll probably use tools to create that overview, but she's sending it, right? So that's good. Well, I think we're getting a little bit off track here. This is good though. I just like geeked out about the whole GPT thing. Let's get back to folders.
Yeah.
Let's talk about folders. We'll call it folders. We're just going to call it folders. I don't want to mess with your verbiage. But so how are you using, so does each client you're building a persona for, is that a new folder? And then that folder is just trained on that client?
No, it's a folder, and then these are like subfolders underneath it. So every time you go back to it, it creates another subfolder underneath it. It just understands that for the purposes of like a buyer persona that it needs to do that. I have another one maybe that's over, and it's over. So that time management scenario that we were talking about, I created a folder over in my business one, and I uploaded a Google sheet that I have that basically gives how much time each client gets. It has a breakdown of maybe like time that, so employee 1 is 30%, employee 2 is 20%, and, employee 3 is the rest of it. Well, I can download the sheet on my time tracking, and it has the instructions based on that sheet and the 2 sheets. It will give me a summary of, well, this person's over here, this and that, and then I can have those human conversation. But it's basically my time management folder, and so I'm using it for that.
But does the folder, like main folder, the parent folder, do you drop instructions initially into it, or
yes? Yeah. So you basically write a prompt. That's the initial thing. And you can add like files or maybe other things that you've done, but you create those instructions. I have another one that's my human resources. And, you're a highly experienced human resources consultant who's working with marketing agencies and, you're responsible for. And maybe I had, I wanted to talk about scope creep, or I wanted to talk about client cancellations or client management or burnout or like all these things that might be related to HR. And I do realize that an expert is, when you get into real sticky situations, but it certainly helps, just kind of get the conversation started.
Good brainstorming and quick pause to give a shout out to the sponsors of the Builders Podcast, Unified Web Design and UnifiedLabs.ai. At Unified Web Design, we specialize in crafting custom websites and offering complete design and development solutions to help businesses build a strong, lasting online presence. Now, through UnifiedLabs.ai, a project I'm really excited about, we're helping businesses tap into the power of AI and automation, designing smarter systems, streamlining operations, and building practical tools that actually work. From audits to implementation, we help brands navigate the AI landscape with clarity and confidence. Whether you need a custom website or you're ready to explore how AI can transform your workflows, visit UnifiedWebDesign.com and UnifiedLabs.ai. Now back to our show. So what you're doing with that prompt, and this has been true for, ChatGPT forever, is, or one of the key things that hopefully most people know by now, is that you should give it a role. Not always. But for certain things, it really, really helps because it establishes them. Because I'll do that. You're my UX expert today, or you are my expert about, that's helping us with podcasts today. And all about podcasts and how to market them and write content for them and whatever. You just kind of set it up and then, okay, now here's my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of frames it. It almost like it kind of narrows them a little bit, and then they can take on that persona.
I did a unique recently. I went to a conference, and when I went to the conference, it was explained that everything was going to be given to us later. And so I was like, okay. So I sat down and I was probably 8 rows back, like main conference, and I recorded on my phone the speaker. And I had one already trained to tell me the marketing aspect, the business aspect, and the sales aspect. And so each speaker that spoke, I just took the transcript and put it over there, and it gave me all the notes and allowed me to sit there and actually engage with the conversation, not have to be taking screenshots or feverishly writing notes. Right. And I could just sit there with a pad of paper and kind of write down what I really wanted to write down and really be engaged in the conversation. So that was using it in offline,
Yeah, that's a really good point. Is because do you use something like what is it called, where it joins you in meetings and stuff? There's a couple of them out there
because I've created it custom for what I need. When you use the other ones, they're very generic and they're not customized to what you're listening to. I come from a world of sales. I did it I'm still in sales, but, for a good decade, I was selling digital marketing. And so I have decently good listening skills, and I'm listening for certain things. So it was easier for me to kind of write that prompt of, I'm listening for this, this, and this. I want this out of it. And then I could have like a human conversation with someone without, feeling like I need to quickly write down whatever they said.
Well, that's the thing, and I'm actually testing. ClickUp has one that competes with the others. The ClickUp notebook or something, or note taking. I don't remember. They all these names, but anyway, but it's one that also supposed to do that. But the nice thing with that one is integrated with ClickUp, which you can attach it to. You can have meetings internally, attach it to a task, create a document out of it, and all this stuff, and keep it all in that one system. That's something that's
ClickUp was made for marketing agencies, is my understanding, versus like Asana that I'm using was not made for marketing agencies. So I can see that as possibly a level up. Only you can't, like, if there's very specific things, like I'm specifically telling it that employee A, B, C, D, whatever, handles SEO. This one handles content. This one handles, and so it knows what to assign to people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, in these cases, they're just basically recording. They might give you an interface to talk to it and ask questions about it and all that stuff.
I mean, somebody listening is going to hear this and they're going to build a software out of it. I just know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, maybe you'll get a percentage. Maybe they'll be nice enough to give you a percentage of the profits. But that's really cool. So what other things are you? Okay, so you got the buyer persona. You use it for HR.
Yeah.
What other things are you using for?
So definitely
folders.
We talked about like clients, but like sales calls. I have used it for. I talked about the conferences. Content planning, Facebook ads planning, Google ads planning, reporting. So I have done it where, like, so my team manually, puts in on a slide deck on Google Slides, like what's working, what's not working, and what I'm going to do about that. And I really love that because that shows me how much they're engaged, and the clients can see how much they're engaged and that they're really creating those strategies. But it's usually like a lot of information for somebody to do. So I can actually download that Google Slides as a PDF, and I have taught it to go in and find the key factors and summarize that in an email for me, and then I can send that out. And so that's just something to do over and over that makes it for a great folder too.
Yeah, well, one of the things that, it's nice to have all these tools and do all this stuff, but really at the end of the day, it's to be more efficient and to be able to provide a better service to your clients and stuff, right? I mean, it has this, and maybe it's not a direct impact, but it trickles down. Everything you're doing at the end of the day is to serve that client better, right?
Provide more value to them. I've worked with some clients where I just need to listen a little bit of some things that they repeat over and over, and I can help them actually not just in marketing, but in other aspects of their job, to create those efficiencies so that we can have those human interactions. And I don't see this world where ever that everything is automated for marketing, because you are forgetting the most important element of marketing is grabbing somebody's attention. And if everything looks the same, then it's never going to grab somebody's attention. And so I think a great marketer will always be needed. But there's a lot of things that we do that can get a great start and then go from there.
Yeah, and it allows us to do more ourselves. Like I was just talking to one of my team members the other day, Janine, and she's been with me for years. And while I encourage my entire team to use AI now and all this, my messaging to her was simple. It's like, because I think the reason I did it because I was showing her, I was screen sharing something, I was in Cursor, and she could obviously see my agent over here doing stuff. Yeah. I'm like, she's going to think I'm replacing her. I'm like, but I used it as a moment. I'm like, I'm using Cursor just, and just so I encourage you to, check this out if you're not using Cursor yet or AI. And I said, it's just because this is a thing where I won't have to hire 10 Janines. I can just have one Janine. Yeah. The one I have now. I don't need to have 10 more or whatever.
If you think about when you are the most creative, it's when you allow space. It's when you're walking, when you're in the shower, when you're on vacation, when you're off somewhere else. Your mind just becomes more creative. If you can think about some of these manual tasks that we're doing that really doesn't allow us to be the creative humans that we want to be, that is what it is allowing us to do. It's not a replacement of humans. It's like to enhance humans to become more creative.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And just when you were saying that, again, I'm talking about cursor a lot today, but becoming a cursor conversation. But it's funny when you're doing, like, if you let it do the coding, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm really testing it heavily now because I want to see, what the actual efficiency is here, or would it have been better off for me to just code it. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing it though, like you'll prompt it to, I'll screenshot the section I'm going to have it build. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give it, if it's in Figma, I can pull out the styles and all that. I drop that in there. And then I kind of give it maybe a little extra instructions. And it's able to see that screenshot and understand it and does pretty good job most of the time, 9 out of 10 times. But the thing is, when it's doing it, I'm waiting. Like, you do the prompt and then you sit back for like 2 minutes while it's doing the work. Yeah. And so that time could be used to go back and plan the next part of that project, or start doing the screenshots for the next thing. There might be some iterations on that, or maybe you take a call or you do something creative. Yeah. It frees up time in between while it's doing that work. Even if you're using a GPT or something. Yeah. All that time you would have spent doing all the putsy work and detail stuff. Yeah. You're doing something else.
I created a unique one that I go now I'm gonna have to rethink this as SEO has evolved, and I'm definitely on the bandwidth of search everywhere optimization. So I don't think this is gonna work as is, but what I did was actually go into Google Search Console and download the last 6 months of data. And then I created a prompt that would go and look for the top 10 URLs that are going backwards in impressions or backwards in clicks. I uploaded all of Google's documentation on what you need to quote unquote rank. So the SEO handbook, all of that stuff. And taught it this is, give me suggestions and give me 5 to 10 suggestions per URL for why the top ones are working and why the bottom ones are not. So that was, super helpful. But now, of course, with AI overviews and the fact that you're actually seeing impressions go up, but not necessarily clicks because you're showing an AI overview, adds a whole nother okay, shoot, now I'm going to have to manually look at SEMrush or something. I haven't quite figured it out in my head. But that's just another example of trying to give that data analysis that would have taken me a lot more time. But now with that folder, I could do it over and over. But of course, now I'm going to have to, that human has to be involved because things evolved.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, you think about that because we do a lot of speed optimization. We're a continuous state of doing that. Yeah. And running those reports, even Google Speed, running a report and what that is and the readout, taking that and dropping it into a GPT that understands, these are the pages, what is our plan? Yeah. How can what is the next thing? What are the things we can work on? And you can even show them the pages. Mm-hmm. Link to the pages and take a look at it, see if they, and strategize about it. But it saves all the.
I know we're techie, so we're probably way more, advanced. And I definitely hear that when I get out in the field. I'm just okay, so I like, again, just being that person that can kind of run out in front and see everything that's going on and then, decide, is it something that we should actually move forward with? Because there's good and bad, just like with anything in life, there's good and bad, where there's elements that are I can get on board with that, but there's other elements that I can't get on board with.
Well, I think we're actually, as a species, we have this new tool set, mm-hmm. and we're just all figuring it out. We're trying it, we're failing with it. Mm-hmm. We're it can do this good, it can do that good. Where's my humanity end and the bot begin? Where does that all come together? And I think eventually we have to find that equilibrium where this is where we're always going to be. This is how it can help us.
Yeah.
and it becomes a team
I
play.
like new things. And so I love that of being able to run out and kind of like, I'm pretty much not afraid of anything. Like I'll go out and I'll go figure it out. So that's really fun for me, but I have this balance to me where I'm very much practical. Like I want to be efficient. I want to be practical. Like, I try not to live too much in the sky. Like, okay, well, where's the practicality to this?
Yeah, exactly. So how do you keep up with tech and stuff? I mean, are you just got ears to the ground or to the?
I do. There's several different places that I listen to. I'm not going to think of them off the top of my head. Like the AI Management Institute, I think that's what it's called now. They changed the show. I listen to them a lot. You can get a little scared when you listen to them because they're like way far. So there's like some shows I listen to that are way like far. And then I pick up on people to follow on LinkedIn, but I'll tell you, like, I feel advanced, and then some days I get up on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, so it's completely normal. And then I'll go out in real person, and I live in a more like remote area, and I'm like, I'm fine.
We go out in the woods and forget it all for a little while. Yeah.
It's a smaller town area. So, and then I'm just like, okay, like, cause it's just like the bell curve of any like new thing. There's, when it first comes out and the early adopters, and then starts to become normalized and, and it kind of goes forward. So I like to go way forward and then come back to the middle.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Do you see like a lot of people, obviously there's negative and positives to AI and these chat bots and all that stuff. And there's talk in the next couple of years, depending on who you talk to, it could be 2 years, could be 5 years, it could be 10, but, we're going to start losing jobs and we're going to start, all of us are going to be replaced. And, do you see that your business, yourself, your agency and stuff, do you see any impact that AI has already had on you in terms of your business, your clients, negative or positive?
I'll wrap this maybe in a couple statements. We will always need marketing. What I'm doing and how I'm doing it is going to change, and that's been changing. It's changing at a very rapid pace right now. It is difficult to stay up to date. I know I'm pretty up to date, but it is difficult. And then, that's why I'm also a big proponent of a smaller team right now, because the larger your team, the harder it is to steer that ship. I went from yellow pages to online, and that was a hard, ship to steer. But I think there's some definitely like dangerous elements. Like some bills that are out there that would put like a 10-year moratorium on any like things being regulated in the AI industry, and that scares the crap out of me. Like that is way too far, and I think we don't know what we don't know, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think we do need some regulation. There's just things that we haven't thought of that haven't been built yet. Do I think that I'm listening to a book right now, and it's super fascinating. I'm not through the book, so I can't but it's called A World Without Work by Daniel Susskind.
Oh.
And it talks about how maybe it's different this time, and it maybe that it will or will not, but it gives the different things. One of the stories that was in the beginning was talking about, I think it was horses, and like there was this big, like how there's, all this poop all over the streets and this big like crisis, and, it evolved, and we ended up, creating, cars, and then we've got cars that are pulling horses. So who really won in that one? The horse.
Yeah, right. Has to, right. They're just hanging out back there. They don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So I think we just evolve. Like some things are going to go away, and then it's going to allow us to do other things. But when I think about it economically, the money has to be spent by somebody. And if we're all replaced, how is that money being created?
Yeah.
So I I don't know, like that would, I just don't see that happening. But I do think there are bad things that will happen with it because there's bad people. Like, there just is.
Of course.
Like, there's just bad people in the world, and there's nothing we can do about that.
And they ruin it. They ruin it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where the regulation will come, because you have to have a bad event for them to wake up.
Correct.
And want to do that.
A 10-year moratorium on AI.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I'm also not a big fan of the latest, like, carrying around a necklace. So, OpenAI bought the company, that used to, or that made the iPod, and the engineers and the designer. And they're working on a necklace that you would basically wear, similar to the Meta glasses, but you're walking around. But that could be tucked into your shirt and you wouldn't know. And you're just always being recorded. And
well, yeah, that's the freaky thing, right? Yeah, they had, like, for a while, there was a guy that had, like, everyone would have to have a pocket on their shirt, but you put a clip it to your shirt or something. Yeah. But you're right. Even with the AI glasses, now we're kind of going really far into the tech here, but the physical tech, but that's actually something, I think about. It's like, everyone's going to be walking, you're going to be paranoid all the time that everyone's going to have to behave because you're being recorded, not only recorded, but they're going to be able to bring up all your information, like who this person is, push, be like, okay, we'll report this guy.
Yeah. What is it? Minority Report? Is that that show?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely a different Jennifer around the campfire and Jennifer, like, in business world, two different people.
Right. And we need to check the glasses at the the campgrounds before you go into the campgrounds. Everyone has to remove their glasses and their necklaces. And we got to find private spaces that we, in this world that,
I think we'll start to pay for human interaction.
Yeah.
We're going to come to a world where we're not sure if we're talking with humans or not, and we just want to talk with humans.
Well, that's why I think, like, we'll wrap this up in a few here, but one of the things, I look at my business, I look at agencies in general, I look at all of us in services businesses and stuff like that, and then you look at your clients and who they want to do business with. And just like when you make a phone call and you have to talk to a bot on the phone call and they're not getting it quite right, or people still want to know they're talking to humans, and that's who they want to do businesses and work with. And there's more empathy involved. There's more, the human experience. And I think even with all these tools, I don't know. There's a lot of debate about if we're going to be replaced or not, but I don't know that we'll be replaced. I think we'll just evolve. Because I think people still want to work with Jennifer.
With Matt.
They want to call her up. And know you're the one that's there, although it might be a clone of you, but
I haven't quite gone that far. I've thought about it, and people are like, it doesn't matter, Jennifer. All your YouTube videos are out there. Like, you're easily clonable. And I'm like,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about, like, they have, okay, I'm really going to, we'll stop at this one, but we could talk about this all day. But, so, like, I'm getting into chatbots, and I've kind of always been in chatbots, but, even before it was, popular, but I was thinking about adding one to my own site. It's kind of, build it for yourself first so we can build it for other people. Right. But I was just, watching something the other day, and kind of the next evolution with that, with like VO coming out, VO3, whatever it is, with this really, really good video of, that AI video. Imagine your avatar. Not only do you train the bot to know everything you are, know how you talk, your mannerisms, all that stuff, but then you have this really realistic avatar of you. And that person, they click a button on your website, and there you are.
Well, they already have the, like, creating a video where you can do, like, a text. I can show you a video of me it's from a year ago. I haven't created one since, but it looks and sounds just like me, but it's not me.
Yeah, it's not me. It's really not.
It's not. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't like it.
It's weird.
It's like,
it's weird.
You go rogue like so easily, and I'm just like, no. I already see my back to bringing it back to the GPTs and folders. I already see it going rogue from its instructions. Where I see this like going wrong is that you create that and it goes rogue, and then you're ruining your
offend somebody
quickly. Yeah, so. I'm a little bit more scary on that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a great conversation. I know we kind of, because it's just one of those topics that takes us all over the place, and
we're learning,
and we love it,
we're building,
and we enjoy it. But you know, the whole project folder idea is incredible, because I think all of us need to be leveraging that more in our businesses as at least the first step. Maybe we're not automating it with Make yet, but maybe that's the first step, is getting in there and get it to do those menial tasks, those little tasks that you don't need to be doing yourself, and to help you be more creative rather than, you know, sitting there analyzing or putting reports together and all that.
Right.
And then slowly, as time goes on, learning how to expand on that like you're doing.
Yep.
It's very inspiring. Very good. I don't wonder why you're so successful and doing amazing things in the world, Jennifer.
I'm doing okay.
You're doing all right. All right. Well, Jennifer, until next time. Next time will be our 5th, so we'll see. We'll see when we do that one. But it's always a pleasure. Until next time.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Builders Podcast. One more quick note about our sponsors. At Unified Web Design, we're passionate about doing better together, partnering with agencies and businesses to deliver exceptional web design, development, and ongoing support. And UnifiedLabs.ai is where we explore smart, practical ways to integrate AI directly into your website and e-commerce flows. From intelligent chatbots to marketing automation to back-end reporting, all with a strong focus on user experience and making your systems work smarter. If you haven't already, subscribe or follow to stay updated on future episodes. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, sharing it with someone who might benefit helps us grow this amazing community. Until next time, keep building smarter, bolder, and with purpose.